Afternoon, everybody. My name's Kevin Frazier. I'm the executive director of WCU's programs in Asheville, and glad to be joining you this afternoon for a brief orientation. We want to make sure you know about how things work at our Biltmore Park instructional site so that you're ready to kick things off next week. Joining me from the Biltmore Park instructional site is Kelly McIntyre, our assistant director. Kelly, I'll let you say hello.
Hi, everyone. I just dropped my info in the chat as well. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop those in chat and we'll either address them there or I'll bring them up to Kevin so he can address them in the presentation. Good to see everybody. Thanks for being here.
I'm also glad to welcome Dean Brian Kleppel. Brian is the head of the graduate school, and give an opportunity for Brian to say hello and introduce the team who's with us today from the graduate school. Dr. Kleppel.
Great. Thank you so much, Kevin. Again, my name is Brian Kleppel. I'm Dean of the Graduate School and Research. We're so excited that you're joining us for our new graduate student orientation for Biltmore Park students this afternoon. We have a couple of people joining us from the graduate school. First up is Dr. Joy Bowers-Campbell, our Associate Dean. Joy, would you like to say hello?
Hello, good afternoon, welcome. I saw that a couple of you are joining us from work and on your lunch, so we really appreciate your being here this afternoon.
Great, thanks so much, Joy. And we have Lena Lemire from the graduate school as well. Lena, would you like to say hello?
Hello, everyone. I'm student services and support, so if you ever need anything, I'll drop my email in the chat.
Great, thanks so much, Lena. So Kevin, that's our team from the graduate school. And again, we're here in the chat session along with Kelly to be able to help people with whatever questions they might have. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Brian. So over the next few minutes, I want to go through a few PowerPoint slides because I know when you woke up this morning, you're like, I hope I get to see some PowerPoint slides at some point in my day, and it's your lucky day. But we'll share a little bit about our facility and how things work. And like everybody has said, if you've got any questions, feel free to put them up in the chat, and our folks will give some live responses. And if we need to, we'll also address those together as well. So just kicking things off, our main instructional site is at 28 Shank Parkway. We occupy the first and the third floors of that building, but we also have part of the third floor across the street, which is primarily for our mental health and school counseling programs. Our facility is open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursdays, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. We're open most Saturdays except the Saturdays that abut a university holiday time off. For example, we're not open the Saturday before spring break or the Saturday during spring break. We're open on Saturdays to give you a chance that sometimes you need to step away from home, family, friends, work, and be able to have a quiet place to study and write, and we provide that for you here. This is a very serious decision that you've made to go to graduate and professional school, and we want to do everything we can to support you there. Our phone number and our website. I'll also point out that everything that we're talking about on today, if you go to the website, either asheville.wcu or biltmorepark.wcu, takes you to the same place, but you'll also see a current student tab that'll also walk you through this information as well. You can also join us up on our Facebook site. We do post programs and different things that occurred throughout the semester.
Hey, Kevin, let me just jump in and add for folks that while we are generally 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, on days or weeks where there are no classes, but the university is open, on those particular days we close at 5. So there's been some confusion about that in the past. So just making sure folks know if there's no classes, then we close at 5.
Thanks for that, Kelly. Our facility, the stairwells and the elevators unlock at 7:45 a.m. and then lock in the evenings. And that's either at 9 or 5, depending on which day. You'll need your CAT card, which is your student identification card. And we'll talk more about that later. That if you do take the stairs, when you get to the top of the stairs on the third floor, it's what allows you to access. It's just part of our Safety and security, we're very keenly aware we're in a very public location at Biltmore Park. We do turn elevators and stairwells off at 7:30, which is sort of in the middle of evening classes. Again, folks can, of course, go out, but once they're out for the day. Our admin office is down on the first floor. That's where Kelly and me and our colleagues are, but we also have information desk right on the third floor. Anytime we're open, it's always staffed. It's a one-stop shop, whether you're picking up books that the bookstore might have sent or something a faculty member might have left you, or you just got a question. We do not require parking permits at Biltmore Park. If you happen to have paid for a parking pass, you can call students' accounts and remind them that you're a Biltmore Park student, and that'll get refunded. We do have a very large parking deck behind our building. That's where we ask everybody to park on levels 3, 4, and 5. There are some spaces marked visitor. Please don't park there, and don't park in the parking lots behind the retail businesses like REI or even the YMCA in Biltmore Park. You may actually get towed for doing that for a continual time period. We have plenty of parking. Tuesdays is the only days that we get pretty full on parking, but even then we still have parking. So it's not a worry or an issue throughout the week. We do have 24-hour security, but we do not have a police presence, a university police presence. You can call Biltmore Park security, but in most cases, if there's an emergency, it's really calling 911. Now, particularly here in the spring term, there are times that I may need to call classes and that we will suspend classes for the day. We do all those postings on weather.wcu.edu. We actually don't make those announcements through local television or other media outlets. We just found there was too much of a lag on that. I will also, or the emergency services office will send an email out to your university email account to tell you if we've had to cancel classes. If we do have to cancel classes, notification we made at 6 a.m. And that's a separate call from evening classes, and that's made by 3 p.m. So depending on when your class is, check to see what's most appropriate for you. And like I said, when we make that call, it will go out via email, but also be posted. Now, all that said, this is graduate school. There's still going to be work to be done. And so your faculty will likely send you an email to your university account or send messages through Canvas, which is our online instruction tool, and it'll give you guidance what you need to do. Occasionally, I'll call a late start. I don't do that very often. Classes will then start at 10 o'clock, and wherever you were supposed to be at 10 o'clock is what you'll start at. We don't compress the day or do anything like that. I should also tell you that when you look at the weather announcements, it's important that you look for Biltmore Park. It is always possible that main campus in Cullowhee and Biltmore Park have two different weather calls. That's always a distinct possibility because of the strangeness of our weather in Western North Carolina. In our facility, both on the first floor and the third floor, we've got break areas for students with refrigerators and microwaves and K-cup machines and tea kettles. You're welcome to leave snacks and frozen meals, and some of our programs, they're here for literally 8 hours in the course of a day, and some are here for 3 hours at night. It just varies, but we try to keep you well accommodated. Also on the third floor is where our snack machines and drink machines are as well. This is the third floor, student commons. It's a great space to just come, crack a book open, have a little conversation. Also, you'll see that we have several computers there. If you don't have your laptop with you, but need to check email or send something to a faculty member, you can do that very easily there. We have a number of group meeting and study rooms meant for 2 to 6 folks. You can block them in 2 to 4 hour blocks. It just varies depending on the time of year. The later part in the semester, the demand for these spaces are very high. Faculty will also reserve these spaces to do meetings one-on-one or also group meetings for classes as well. You can make those reservations by calling a day in advance, or you can also go up to the info desk or to our desk downstairs, and we'll take care of that for you as well. The CAT card is your university ID card. We will send an email link out at the first of next week that you can go on to a new system that Kelly's helped put together to help you be able to very easily order your CAT card. So I'll send that out on Tuesday next week. So if you haven't ordered that yet, you can pause for that, and it'll take, once you order it, it takes about a week to arrive at your home. Kelly, any other notes on that?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and drop that new link in the chat,
Oh.
and it should also be on our website, asheville.wcu.edu under student information. If you go to CAT card or ID card, that link is also going to be there. So let me pull that real quick and I'll drop it in the chat for everybody.
Thanks. So you'll be able to go ahead and do that from either of those links, as well as the one I send out next week. My WCU is our portal system that it's basically the business app that everything from paying your bills, but also it's where you get your grades, work through financial aid at my WCU. And then Canvas, as I mentioned, is the tool that faculty members utilize for online course management. Even if you have a face-to-face class, that may be where they post documents, things to read. It's where you'll submit assignments and papers and such. The bookstore will do deliveries in typically the first week of the semester. When you go on to online to order books, you can choose your delivery location as WCU Biltmore Park, and they will bring those over. Do note it takes 2 to 3 days for those books to cycle and get over. They try to get them as soon as they can, but because there is some travel distance that needs to happen there, that can take an extra day. But we'll have those, and we distribute those up on the info desk at the third floor as well. We will do a book buyback at the end of the semester, but I'll send more information about that when we get to the end. Computer support and wireless. We will have, we've actually just lost our IT person who has moved over to main campus. So I will be posting some new information. We're waiting to get that about our IT support in the start. We've got great wireless connections all throughout the facility. If you happen to be in a program that requires you to go over to main campus, everything just functions seamlessly between the two locations. We do have on-site assistance, but you can also call over to the help desk. They're very, very helpful, and you can even allow them to access your computer remotely, and they can make changes remotely as well. Paw Print is our system for doing copies and using printers. We have one on the first floor and one on the third floor that can do black and white or color. You put money on your CAT card account to be able to pay for those, and can do all that printing at the university if you so desire. The library, when you're on site, all the databases are accessible, but you can also get them from home. You'll just log in, and that gets you to all of the paid reference tools that we have. Books will be mailed to your home directly with a return label for you to send back when you're done with them. The bookstore makes that very easy for you. So you pick up bookstore books out on campus at Biltmore Park, but you don't have to do that with library books. That's back and forth between the library and your home. The WCU Writing Commons, also known as Walk, you can set up online appointments to do Zoom appointments, and they'll give you help with reading your papers and making corrections and guidance for that. We also have BrainFuse, which is available if there are some things that you need some tutoring or assistance on. You can log into that and have free assistance for that as well. The Center for Career and Professional Development has someone weekly out on the assistant at the instructional site for a one-on-one assistance, but you can also do that by Zoom as well, and they'll help you out with resumes and CVs, job searches, and all that. We do through remote telemedicine, you're able to do counseling through our mental health counseling services, also known as CAP, and likewise You can set up for university health services as well. In the fall, we host immunization clinics. We don't do that in the spring only. In the fall, it's like with the flu shots and TB tests that nurses need to do. But you can set appointments, and if you need to, you can go out to main campus, which is only an hour away, to be able to make use of those services of telemedicine, if you need more than telemedicine can provide. We've got a lovely little gym on the first floor. It's like a nice hotel gym. And it's open anytime that the facility's open. And you can see we've got ellipticals and rowing machines as well as treadmills. The student conduct modules, you will get an email by the end of the month. Everybody is required to do 2 modules, one on sexual assault and one on diversity and inclusion. And if you're younger than 24, there's also one on alcohol education. This is required of every student. To be able to register for the next semester, you'll need to have completed these. We do provide a food pantry. Going to grad school can be a tax on your financial resources, and so we provide a food pantry just to give everybody a helping hand. It is in addition to dry goods, we actually also have frozen goods there as well. You can't see the freezer in the picture. You don't have to register. You can just go in, get what you need. There's a little sheet that you mark a mark that you were there, a little tick mark. It just helps us be able to make sure we know how many folks we're serving and have enough food there to be able to support everybody. In the end, our goal at the administrative offices at WCU Biltmore Park is to help you in any way possible to be successful. We don't want you to be worrying about the semantic operations, but be able to be just focused in on your studies. No matter which program you're in, you're in a rigorous academic program, and we want to provide those levels of support. So with that, I will stop my screen share, and I'll turn over to Kelly and ask if we've got any things that have popped up in the chat that we should address directly.
Nothing at this point. If folks have questions, feel free to use the raise your hand feature, pop that in the chat. Shannon, I know you're on here as a current student. If you have any insights you'd like to share, we'd love to hear those. Maybe since there don't seem to be any questions popping up, we'll turn it to you for a minute.
Hi everyone, I'm Shannon. I am currently going into my second semester. I would probably just say use all your resources available to you. So don't be afraid to use the counseling services. Don't be afraid to use the writing services. And don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's tons of help and everyone's always so nice and willing to do things for you. So that would probably be my biggest piece of advice, is just ask for help when you need it, and do it before you're starting to freak out. Do it before you actually really need help. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'd be willing to answer those too.
Thanks, Shannon. Yeah, that's a great point. Go ahead and ask. The sooner the better. We don't want you to end up in a situation where you're really drowning in the semester. We're all here to help. And Susan, you asked about a live meet and greet. This slideshow was created for the fall. And so I think that we just didn't get to update that. It was a little bit of an oversight there. So, in the spring, smaller incoming group, as you can see by the attendees on Zoom. So we don't do those live sessions, but definitely recommend reaching out to your program director and your faculty members first week of school to find out what might be going on in your program, so you can get more of that face time.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that on the last slide. We and definitely several of the programs will do some getting to know each other events in the first couple of weeks of school, and your faculty members will pass that along. Dr. Kleppel.
Kevin, I'll just jump in and mention one thing. Shannon O'Reilly serves as our chief of staff in the Graduate Student Association. The Graduate Student Association is there to provide resources, both fiscal and otherwise, for graduate students. For example, all graduate students are eligible for up to $500 of travel support for various professional development meetings, presentations, posters, you name it, sort of thing. And also, if anyone is interested in serving as an officer in the Graduate Student Association, please reach out. Shannon would be a great contact for that. I'd be happy to be a contact for that as well. Associate Dean Dr. Joy Bowers Campbell, who was here earlier, serves as our supervisor for the Graduate Student Association, and I will drop a link in the chat shortly regarding GSA, but feel free to apply as far as those financial resources now or in future semesters as a graduate student. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Brian. Well, any other notes from our colleagues at WCU or any other questions for our new students?
I would just reiterate, go ahead and get those CAT card requests in as soon as you can. If you want to take the stairs when you arrive here, you'll need your CAT card to access the 3rd floor. If you need to print anything, you'll be able to do that as long as you have your CAT card. So it's certainly better to go ahead and get that taken care of. And I tested out the form before our holiday break, and it beautifully arrived in the mail just as it was supposed to, within about 5 business days. So go ahead and get that done. I see in the chat Shannon's dropped her email, and some information about GSA has been shared there. So please take a look at that. College of Business folks, I'll see you guys again tomorrow at noon. Taking off my College of Business hat, putting on the Asheville programs hat. If anybody in any program needs anything at any time, Kevin and myself and our team are here for you. So please don't hesitate to come see us.
Well, folks, wanted to keep it to a half hour. So if you were taking a lunch break, you can grab a bite as well. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us today. As Kelly said, be sure to stop by and say hello. If you see us in the hall, say howdy. Again, welcome. We are really excited that you're joining us at WCU, and we'll do anything we can to be of support. Thanks, and have a great afternoon.
Bye, everyone.